Welcome to the Michigan Golfer Show with our host, Bill Shelton. Join us each week as we explore the courses, the people, and the events that shape our great game.
Hello, our guest on this edition of the Michigan Golfer is one of the most respected golf architects in the Midwest, William Bill Newcomb. His courses range from the Donald Ross Memorial Course in Boyne, Michigan, selected by Golf Digest in 1991 as one of the top best new resort courses, to the outstanding country club courses such as Great Oaks and Travis Point in Michigan and many others. And recently, the upscale public courses such as Thornapple Point and the soon-to-open Calderone Farms. But Bill Newcomb's golf experience have not been limited to design and architecture. He has had an outstanding amateur golf career, including winning the Indiana Open and the Michigan Amateur. And Bill has lived most golfers' fantasies. He has played the Augusta golf course. And more importantly, he played the Augusta golf course as a member of a master's program. Welcome, Bill, and tell us about the master's experience.
It was terrific. The first tee was what every first tee should be. A lot of people, you got to hit the shot, and you're away and playing. And I did it under a lot of pressure because amateurs, there are only a few amateurs there.
Had you thought about the possibility of turning professional?
At one time I did, but I was at school at U of M and continued my education, and the life was too tough.
You're one of those few people that have not only had an outstanding amateur career and an excellent golfer, but also formal training in architecture of golf courses and landscapes. That combination has to make it a little bit easier when you're designing golf courses.
It's easier at the start. As you get into it, the formal training sometimes slides away and your on-site experience helps.
Throughout your career, you've talked about Pete Dye and the influence he has had on you and your design. How did the two of you get together, and really what has Pete meant to you?
Well, Pete is from Indiana, as I am, and we knew each other first as golfers. But a project in Michigan, well known to the U of M people, Radrick Farms, was his first project, and I was a student here during that period of time, so I actually worked on the course with Pete. I always said of Pete, he was unencumbered by formal design.
In some of our earlier conversations, you used the term deceptive design to describe your philosophy regarding golf courses and putting together and the making of a golf course, the laying out of a golf course. What do you really mean by deceptive design?
Twofold. First, deceptively simple sometimes, and this comes directly from Pete. He thought the holes should be playable because he was a golfer, as I'm a golfer, so I like playable holes. But deceptively simple in that you might really play the hole best from one side of a fairway, or play short rather than long. Strategic golf, deceptive golf. Also, Donald Ross was great at deceptive golf on placing bunkers forward of a hole 40 yards, so you lost the distance between a bunker and the green. And I've had a chance to see a lot of his work firsthand and tried to employ some of what those features are into some of our courses.
You started with your own design at a relatively early age. What was the first course you designed?
The actual first course I ever designed was through Pete Dye as an associate, was Avalon Lakes Golf Course in Ohio. And the second one I designed, actually helped with, was Crooked Stick in Indiana.
As you look back on those courses and you look at some of the courses that you're working on today that we'll talk about a little bit later, what's changed in the golf design business?
Bigger and better. We spend more dollars, we use more machinery, and in the end we hope we have better results. But the minimalist architecture that we started with has escalated.
Has the technology in designing courses, computer-aided instruction, has that really changed also the way you spend time before you go to the site or while you're working on the site?
Sure. Technology, both in club design and on the drafting board design with CAD/CAM designs, both of those play a big factor. The CAD/CAM, because it makes everything so much easier. All the information is at your fingertips. What we used to spend hours trying to find information, it's there within a few minutes now.
You mentioned a little bit about golf club design and golf balls and how the ball supposedly goes farther and all of those kinds of things. Does this require that we need more land to build longer golf courses today because of the change in technology, or is the reality most golfers, at least amateur golfers, it hasn't made enough difference to change the design?
I think for the average golfer, it probably hasn't made an awful lot of difference. You still have to have the right technique, as Ledbetter would tell you probably. I think from a competitive standpoint, I think the USGA has to be very careful that they maintain what I see as stir the purity of the game in golf ball design. You can have a lot of different club design. I think that's actually helped a lot of people enjoy the game. But I think the key is in golf ball design where you restrict the distance. And I think a lot of other golf architects and players, good players, will tell you the same thing, that it's no fun to hit driver, wedge, driver, wedge. You really would like different club choices.
Our guest today is Bill Newcomb, leading golf architect in the Midwest, and we're going to take a pause and we'll be right back after this important message.
Legends beckon me to follow in their steps. Through heroic stands of towering pines, along shimmering banks of heather. Call 1-888-78-GREAT for information about Michigan golf. Legends beckon me to play forever, and I followed them to Michigan.
We're back with Bill Newcomb talking about golf course design, and Bill, certainly the Donald Ross Memorial Course in Boyne is an outstanding golf course that people talk about all over America. Tell us a little bit about that one.
Fun course to have been involved with because it replicates 18 of Donald Ross's golf holes. We toured the United States, literally, coast to coast, looked at various golf holes, came up with the 18, and then sited each hole on a piece of property that's about 250 acres. So we were generous, but we had to be to replicate the holes. Fun project, and really, Donald Ross' philosophy carries through in a lot of my designs, I think.
More recently, there's a course at Thornapple Point that has really received some rave reviews. One of your later projects. Tell us a little bit about that golf course.
Thornapple Point is a very nice golf course. It's a public golf course, known as an upscale public in today's market. It is on the Thornapple River. It goes to the river, plays away from the river, plays through forest. Very nice golfing experience. Now I say that, and having said that, we have a train that runs through the course, and we're in the flight path of the Kent County International Airport. Other than that, it is a good golf course, plays at 7,000 yards.
Recently, I talked to you a little bit about your latest project, Calderone Farms, just west of Chelsea on Highway 94, Expressway 94, and I went out and walked the course, and it is definitely what I would call a big golf course. Talk a little bit about that. It's going to be opening, I believe, in June, maybe a little bit earlier this next year.
It will open late spring, probably. It is a big golf course. That's on 220 acres. And as a comparison, most courses today that we play are on 120 acres, 150 acres. So we use the land. It's a kind of a classic design. It has 9 holes on one side of a forest, has 9 holes on the other side that are more open. It is a combination of a Donald Ross, big rolling topography, and a links course in that it is fairly open, but is bounded by trees around it.
A regular segment we're having on the Michigan Golfer TV show when we have our architects on is to talk about the signature hole. I think all of us as golfers, when we go out on the course, we play the hole that's considered the signature hole, and we remember the golf course often by that particular hole. So it's a very important signature of golf design. And when you talk about signature holes, you've got so many, it's difficult to do, but you've selected the 5th hole at Thornapple Point, a par 5. Give us inside your mind from the very start of this project how that came to be the signature hole. Kind of walk us through that.
Well, the hole evolved very quickly, really. It is a par 5. It takes 3 strategic shots to reach the green. The first shot is to a double wide fairway, and has a bunker on the left, and has pretty much ends to the Thornapple River on the right, which is about 20 feet below this golf hole. So we're up on a plateau. The second shot, which is really the most strategic shot, plays across the water if you're a gambler, or you can play it next to the trap and play down a very narrow fairway. It's defined on the left by a series of mounds. Having hit the second shot, then you have a short wedge shot into the green, and you have a large bunker that guards the right-hand side, so in case you do hit it right, you won't go into the Thornapple River. And on the left, we have a nice, very mature maple tree. So you have all the elements, I think, to make a good hole. You have a choice on your drive, you have a choice on the second shot, and then you have to have a good strategic third shot.
I'm sure most of us have played a Bill Newcomb course if we've played in Michigan or the Midwest, and certainly we've been delighted to have Bill as our guest today. And thanks for being with us on this edition of the Michigan Golfer.
Thanks for having me. Enjoyed it.
Thank you for watching. We look forward to talking to you next time on the Michigan Golfer.